Well, folks, looks like after everything he went through, P. Diddy still ain't coming home. Yo, welcome back to another episode of TATV. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. Now, I'm going to get straight into it. I came here a second ago, and I'll let you know about P. Diddy being acquitted of the RICO and what charges that he did get convicted of. And everybody was under the impression that P. Diddy was on his way home, at least until sentencing. And it was sort of like a no-brainer. But it seems like right now, somebody's throwing a wrench in. P. Diddy ain't coming home. Judge denied his bail. Let's find out why.
We are back with our breaking news. The judge in the Sean Diddy Combs trial has just rather shockingly denied him bail. This, of course, coming after the news that the jury convicted him of two of the lesser charges in the government's case against him, finding him not guilty of the three biggest and most consequential charges. Do we have Elizabeth Wagmeister yet? Okay, so let's get straight to CNN's Elizabeth Wagmeister, who's outside the court, along with Laura Coates. Laura, this is a surprising development. What are we learning? What are the judge's reasons for not letting him out?
Well, we are still learning all the reasons why the judge has denied bail to Sean Diddy Combs pending his sentencing. That can be an indication of a number of things. Remember, the prosecution is intending to ask for jail time in this matter. Each of those charges could provide 10 years in prison. The sentencing guidelines will obviously dictate to what extent that will be followed. Those are the maximum. It is the ceiling, not the floor. But given the number of offenses he has failed to have in the past and the corresponding ways in which you judge someone's category that they're in for the ultimate decision of sentencing, it could be far less than that. I will say, of course, that the judge, by making this statement, essentially is giving a bit of a heads up that perhaps jail time is, in fact, what he will actually hand down.
You know, we know he's going to get jail time. How much, that's a toss-up. But I think it's kind of dirty, man. He went through the motions. Defense team did a phenomenal job, and they turned around and they said, nah, you still ain't going nowhere, buddy. I can guarantee you, somebody had some opposition to this. Probably your girl, Cassie. Or somebody. Somebody was thinking, hey, if Puffy gets free, he's going to come after me. Right.
Sean Diddy Combs, when the sentencing does in fact occur. I will also say that this indicates that the judge believes that there were no conditions of release that could have been met that would have satisfied the court in terms of whatever pending threat there may have been to society or the witnesses or victims in this case that as alleged, and that the conditions of release, including a passport being removed, no access to a flight, living in places other than New York, all these things could have been a part of it. You have additional information as well in terms of the why.
We don't have the why quite yet. We are waiting from our team inside the courtroom, but when you said that part of the reason why could be that the judge perhaps believes that Combs could be a threat to society or the other witnesses, it reminded me of a letter that Cassie Ventura's attorney submitted just hours ago opposing him being released on bail. Jake, I want to read you a quote from his letter. It says, quote, Ms. Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including her.
Told you. Puffy got power, okay? Puffy can get home. He can make a phone call. People will come over, burn up your car like he did that other guy, set your house on fire, poison you. Even after he's sitting in court, in trial somewhere, he can have you. He can have you poisoned from where he's sitting at now. But I figured it was going to be something like that. I knew it. I knew it. Some kind of opposition, because this guy is too sneaky. Look at the people his name is mentioned in when you're talking about them passing away. Look at the amount of people that his name was mentioned when they were about to pass away. If you've been keeping up with this trial at all, you had the one guy that said, Puffy set his car on fire. You know, so yeah, people gonna be afraid of the repercussions of for sitting in there telling on him, and then he comes home and they're thinking, hey man, he may come get us, but Cassie is the number one. I can't really see a lot of other people. That Jane Doe lady, she was talking about how she still loved him and about how he was still at that moment while they were in court, he was still paying for her apartment building. So I guarantee you that main opposition was Cassie. They saw the video of Cassie being beat up and all that, and the lawyers turn around right after the acquittal. They go give him a lawyer, not a lawyer, they go give the judge a letter, and the letter saying that she's opposed. Yeah, the judge is going to go with that.
As well as to the community. Now, before this trial began, Laura, we remember that there were 3 attempts at bail from Combs's defense, all of which were denied by 3 different judges, one of them being the judge who is overseeing this case. Now, part of the reasons why the prosecution had alleged that he was tampering with witnesses, that he was trying to manipulate witnesses from behind bars. The prosecution had said at one point that Sean Combs was paying inmates at the MDC to use their phones in jail. So that was one of the reasons why the judge denied bail before the trial, as he was awaiting this trial. But again, we don't know the reasons yet.
A perfect segue here, Jake, as well, because we're learning that the judge says this on the bench, essentially that he had denied bail when it wasn't mandatory before the trial, and, quote, sees no reason to reach the opposite conclusion now. He's also quoting the defense at different instances when Combs' own lawyers acknowledged his violence towards his former girlfriends during the trial, saying at trial the defense conceded defendants' violence in personal relationships, saying it happened in relation to Cassie Ventura and Jane. This is very important because, remember, one of the things that was said in the opening statement by Tenny Garagos is that they own the violence, that they admitted to what was seen in that now infamous exclusive video obtained by CNN for the Intercontinental Hotel, where there was a savage assault against Cassie Ventura. And of course, the prosecution during trial said, well, domestic violence is not a defense of sex trafficking. Well, he wasn't convicted on that, but you can better believe that the notice from Cassie's attorney and others probably weighed very heavily on this judge's mind.
And Elizabeth, you spoke with Cassie's attorney. We're going to bring some of that interview later in the show. But it has to be pretty difficult for someone like Cassie, who came forward to tell her story, to tell it in such a graphic and revealing and vulnerable way, and then have a jury of her peers basically say, we don't believe you beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
Yes, Jake, so I know that we are going to get more of this interview a bit later in the show, but I will tell you that her attorney, Douglas Wigdor, did tell me that he believes that the jury actually did believe Cassie and did believe her core allegations, just that the burden is very high for these federal crimes, and that he believes that the jury ultimately did not see a way to meet this charge because, again, that the jury did not believe that the prosecutors met their burden of proof, but that he does believe that Cassie was believed. He also said that Cassie is very proud of herself. This was traumatic for her to testify, but it was also cathartic. She can now move on. We know that she is a mother of 3, a newborn at home. She was 8 months pregnant, testifying in this trial, had her 3rd child shortly after she got off the stand. So she's really focused on family. Her attorney told me that she has a great support system, not just her family, but also she is in therapy. She has great resources now, and he said, you never heal from this. It'll take a lifetime to heal, but she's well into that process. So it sounds like she is doing okay. Her attorney actually told me, don't worry about Cassie.
Stacey, in denying bail, the judge quoted the defense at different instances in the trial when Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers acknowledged his acts of violence towards former girlfriends during the trial. And to be clear, this was not a domestic violence case. So their acknowledgement of that, especially when there was video of him beating up Cassie Ventura.
I just said it. I just said it a second ago. I guarantee you that them seeing that video, and they had to watch it over and over and over again in court. So that stuck in their mind. That I'm talking about, that was baked on, man. Baked on, fresh paint baked on. No matter what the conviction was, they wasn't gonna forget that. That's pretty much what messed him up right here, not being able to come home. So he's gonna have to stay in jail until the sentencing. And then after the sentencing, he'll go straight to prison. And who knows how much time he's gonna get for the charges he was found guilty on. So with that being said, man, that's the update. Sean P. Diddy Combs would not be coming home today. Judge denied his bond, pending opposition from Cassie and her legal team and other victims of his violence. His violent nature, his violent behavior, his violent past has gotten him denied bond after the appeal. Yo, just an update. TATV, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hey, I'm out.